Name a molded head though that is
Wait,
back
you're
from back
telling
in
me
the
you would
day.
rather have
Kit Fisto 2005.
Oh!
Okay.
Jar Jar Binks,
Harpoon.
1999.
Jar Jar Binks,
Jar Jar
1999,
Binks,
the first set.
1999.
So I'm here at the furnace room, the automatic furnace room. I gotta say, this area, it's one of the places you never see in the videos, but I use this thing a lot, dude, for smelting like large amounts of stuff. And one of my favorite things about this system is I can expand it as new items get introduced, or if I left some items out, I can make the system go further out and just keep smelting new items. And it's funny too, because when I first created this system, I was so proud. I was like, guys, look at, I made a whole book. I'm like, guys, look at all the different items I'm smelting. But somehow, I don't know how this happened, but I really did miss a lot of items here. Items that I use quite a bit now, like specifically, you know, deep slate bricks that are cracked, polished blackstone bricks that are cracked, smooth, cracked, all that sort of thing. I don't know why, but I never added it to this system. So I'm going to expand it now. And I realized that when I was back in my chest room and all those items were shooting down on me, I actually didn't have this item closed off by glass. So a bunch of the items were falling off on the side. So the effect, I'm going to redo the effect now. It should actually look a lot better, hopefully. The thing is, now that it's in full operation, I'm worried it's gonna lag and like crash everything, but here we go. The lever of truth. The moment of truth. Nothing happened. Oh. I spoke too soon. Haha. Yeah, look how awesome this is. Alright, I'm happy to say that it is all set up here, and this thing, man, I know I already said it, but it just reminds me of HAL from 2001: A Space Odyssey, like this big supercomputer that is, I don't know, something creepy about this thing, dude. But guys, I'm thinking it's actually time we design this furnace room, and you know, I'm already calling this thing HAL. I'm already looking at it like it's gonna kill me, so I might just have to make a 2001 Space Odyssey themed furnace room. What do you guys think? I was looking at some images on Google, and I gotta say, I'm fucking with this one, yo. So I'm gonna try my best. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be perfectly accurate, or as DJ Khaled would say, accurate. Accurate. You know, I can't promise perfection, but I can try my best, man. So I'm going to do a little bit of progress. We'll see how it goes, and I'll show you guys in a bit. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for. God, that episode, dude. What a fourth wall breaker, am I right, guys? Anyways, check it out. This is the room so far. I'm messing around. It's not done, okay? Hold your judgment, people. Hold your judgment. There's a couple things going on here. First of all, I'm trying to make HAL here in this sort of panel vibe, like from this picture here. And I like it. You know, I'm working on making it more circular, like maybe with some stairs or something like that. I feel like I gotta hire Ben. I gotta get a builder for hire to make this part. Honestly, I feel like I have to rewatch the movie because I feel like at some parts, HAL is this just the tiny part of the control panel, but then I feel like at other parts he's this humongous circle. Like, what size of a circle is HAL really? I know he's the entire machine, but like when it zooms in and it shows his voice, it shows that circle thing. I don't know how to feel about this, but I'm fucking with it, yo. The end rods on the top, what do you guys think? I was debating putting it on the sides too, but I think that would be way too much. You know, something interesting is I feel like these purple frog lights specifically are just a thicker version of end rods. They're like the block version of end rods. They look a lot alike, you know? Like, this is the side with nothing on the bottom, but it's too dark and mobs still spawn here. That's why I put frog lights there in the first place, but I'm not a huge fan of it. It might grow on me, but I like this side more. I just need something here to light things up more. And I don't know when that changed, but you used to be able to put lights underneath slabs and then light things up. You can't do that anymore. It has to be trap doors and carpets, a few other things. It's funny, while I was expanding this smelting system here, I was adding a couple items that I didn't have before, and one of them was a coarse fruit. If you smelt a coarse fruit, you actually get an item called a popped coarse fruit. And I was like, okay, I can see you can smelt that, but what does it actually do? Well, it turns out if you take a coarse fruit and a blaze rod and you combine them together, you can actually craft end rods in the game. I did not know that you can craft end rods in the game, but yeah, sure enough, it actually makes 4. Dude, if you're over by the train tracks here and you're getting a good look at my cherry biome, you look a couple degrees downwards, you know, you make an acute angle, all of a sudden you're seeing holes all over. You got one right there, you got one right there, you got one right here. Guys, there's damage. The hull has been damaged. And you can only kill so many Endermen, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's they'll always be there. It's like mosquitoes in real life, guys. You know, it's summer season right now. I've come to realize that you can only kill so many mosquitoes. They'll always be there, guys. They'll always be there, and I've accepted it. I'm not sitting here letting them bite me, but I'm not going out of my way to kill them anymore. Unless you're indoors, because that's different. But I will say, I feel like that's a metaphor for something like real life, because There's some problems, there's some issues in this life that just cannot be solved with one person. But I do feel like if we all rallied together with some mosquito repellent, killed all the mosquitoes, guys, we could eradicate an entire insect. Okay, what a fucking train of thought. Anyways, back to this. What was I even saying? I want to make this whole area cool. I don't know how I'm going to make it cool, but I'm going to cut in the editing software and it's going to look cool. So future Luca, that's your problem. Right now I'm chilling. All I have to do is say cut and I'm good, guys. I'm going to try and replicate what I did with the ceiling here and apply that to this nether area. But one block that I've been neglecting to build with is the coral blocks. And when you build with it and it's not hydrated, after a few seconds it dehydrates for those gamers who know what's up. And I think it, you know, it's an interesting texture. I think it could be really interesting to put alongside the walls in little bunches, have it alongside some andesite or something, mix it around. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, the sun is setting, the moon is rising. I gotta show you guys a pro Minecraft tip, dude. I actually just learned this one. Okay, step one. Get yourself some bone meal. Now I know there's various ways to do that. I feel like this is the most simple way. Now head over back to the ocean biome with your bone meal. And if I'm correct here, oh shit. Okay, I placed a lot more seagrass than I thought, but it does place infinite coral. Not the blocks though. That's a way to get a renewable resource. I don't know how to get these blocks. I feel like you have to just go exploring them. But it's more about the journey, guys. Can you guys tell I'm trying to stretch this episode by just talking? Yo, I took a step back from recording for a little bit for a few reasons. I don't want to be that YouTuber who's like, guys, I'm back, I'm this, I'm that, but I'm happy to be back, guys. I got a new setup. I got a standing desk. I'm the standing desk guy now. But you know what's crazy? I said it before, I'll say it again. It's like a double-edged blade. When you get sick or when you're dealing with like physical injuries and then you recover, hopefully, you feel like, bro, a refreshed renewment. You know what I'm saying? You feel like life is good. You appreciate life more. And so like, yeah, not to get too philosophical here, but sometimes you need bad things to happen to you in life so that you can, like, when you get back to the good, you just know what's up. Am I getting too cheesy here? This is like, I cursed myself because I feel like whenever I say shit like this, like, oh guys, it's the summer, I'm gonna be playing so much Minecraft, keep an eye out for the videos. The second I said that, I knew. Deep down I knew some bullshit was gonna happen. So I'm not gonna say it. I think I'm better off saying, guys, don't expect uploads, and the next thing you know, I'm on a streak. I got a lot of fucking responsibilities, yo. And this Minecraft for me has been an escape. For real, Minecraft, breaking these coral blocks here has been an escape. And for those who have been watching the videos, y'all know skateboarding for me is an escape too. And both of those things were taken away from me, yo. But I'll say this right now, one of my best characteristics is my ability to reflect on things. And yo, I remember my mom saying to me, like, all of these physical issues that I'm dealing with is like more on a spiritual, it's like a physical manifestation of something spiritual going on with all this stress in my life and all this bullshit. And like, there's a part of me that plays it off and I'm all, she doesn't know what she's talking about sort of thing. But there's also a part of me that's like, how right is she? You know, like, we all deal with stress, this sort of thing, but some people are better at dealing with it than others. And I take that shit to heart, yo. I'm not good with stress, bro. I be letting that shit, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about therapy because I like the confidentiality of speaking to somebody who you don't know, and it's somebody who's completely disconnected from your personal life. But also, like, how could that person ever know what I'm truly going through? It's like when I'm with ChatGPT or some shit trying to explain like situations and I have to give so much context and I feel like I'm not giving enough context. I feel like it's the same thing with a therapist. It's like, you would need so much we could do many sessions, you know what I'm saying? There's still so much that needs to be explained for, you know what I mean? I'm rambling. I need a lot of these blocks, guys. I hope I use these. I do this a lot. Okay, so here is the nether room in all of its glory, people. What do you think? A little bit chaotic, but I gotta say, I just love leaves and caves, and it's not done yet, so don't judge too much. I still gotta put some glowberries and vines in there. I purposefully haven't done that yet because I'm afraid that they're gonna grow too downwards, and then they're gonna go on fire because I have the lava pit below. I'm worried everything's gonna burn, so I have to do that more carefully, but I will say, shout out to the ghast, dude. The happy ghast, because without the happy ghast, this would have taken so much longer, bro. And I wish I could say that I knew the happy gas was coming out when I put this project off, but I had no clue. I had no clue, but I'm happy that I did. So any project that I'm putting off in this series right now, just know it's totally on purpose, guys. It's not an accident. I'm just waiting for an update to come out to make it faster. Everything in this series, purposeful. Come on. Please tell me this is big enough. Alright, we're through. Should I block this thing off? No, it's fine. Alright, let's get it. Glowberries and vines incoming. Okay, this is interesting. As you can see here, my nether flying machines actually got activated, and the way I usually activate it is by taking off or putting on armor, but I got off of my ghast here, and it activated the system, so I'm like, wait, does that mean getting off of a ghast is considered taking a piece of armor off? Because you could do some interesting sort of messing around and trolling with friends, like, yo, come over here, bring your happy ghast, and then when they get off of it, the second they get off of it, it activates something like TNT. I don't even know, but there's potential trolling to be had, because it's a lot more specific to get someone to take off their armor, but no, I don't think anyone would suspect getting off a ghast. I made it to the heart-shaped desert, dude. Look at this. That was a natural lava pool, by the way, shaped exactly like a heart. I did, oh god, but I started to set up the copper oxidation station. I literally just came up with that on the spot, but it low-key has a ring to it. Look at it from the sky. It's looking kind of technical, yo. It's looking kind of technical. My favorite projects are the ones where I'm not watching no tutorials, nothing. It's just straight intuitiveness. Let me break these copper blocks here, and then we'll try it out. Sitting in the minecart, got my blocks ready. Looking straight, and I'm right-clicking. Uh-oh. Maybe I have to delay those things a little bit. Yeah, it's moving my minecart, which is causing me to place blocks weird. Also, it's kind of like pushing my minecart forward. I feel like that's kind of giving me momentum. Now look at all of this machinery I'm using. It's definitely not the most efficient. There's surely a better way to do this, but it's my way. And that's what's beautiful about Minecraft. There's a million different ways to do the same thing, and this way you don't have to go and copy a tutorial, and you can actually have fun and be proud of yourself, guys. This is a bit unconventional, but I think the solution for not placing copper blocks on this turn here is just spamming string like absolutely everywhere. I am determined, dude. I'm determined to get this thing working to the degree I want it to. Like, I know playing on a server, there's a little bit of glitchiness, especially with minecarts. If it skips 1 or 2 spaces, that's cool. So far it hasn't skipped any, but when it speeds up like that, I'm crossing my fingers, please keep going. When I make this turn here, is it gonna place a bunch of blocks? No, no blocks placed. Okay, we're going again. Could be a bit slower here. Yeah, definitely speeding up way too much. F5 mode. And watch your character, you can see a lot better what speed you're going at. Here is the speed that I want to be at, even a bit slower could be better. When I turn the corner, I'm going way faster, you can tell. I am glad that I did kind of like the snake pattern idea here, because if I just kept going in that distance, just one complete direction, then eventually I would go out of bounds of chunks and they wouldn't update. And the whole point is that I want it to be in one area so that all the copper can oxidize.
You have no idea how high I can fly.
Your company cannot be worth that much.
Our company is worth nothing. That's the difference between you and I. Business isn't about money to me, David.
This setup here, I'm realizing, is compatible with just about everything, like trapdoors, blocks, all of that, but the one thing it's not compatible with right now is copper doors. And so I'm thinking if I really wanted to go extra with it, I could have a piston above hand as well. And if I ever wanted to oxidize specifically doors, I flip the piston, which could put the sandstone up one, and then it would give me enough space to do doors as well, but that would only be for doors. Only be for doors. Actually, I think I have to retract my statement, because I don't think you can even move things. I don't think you can move doors with pistons. No, I'm realizing you can't. It actually destroys the door. Dude, I actually fucked up, and you actually can't even craft copper doors at different stages. You have to do it at the initial stage and oxidize it. Unlike other things like trapdoors, you can craft it at whatever stage using different blocks, but you have to oxidize copper doors. I fucked up, yo. It's like that one Keemstar clip. I fucked up!
I fucked up!
But if I'm trying to do a build with a specific stage of copper, like let's say for example the weathered, then I could AFK for a long time, let everything get oxidized, right? So all these spaces have oxidized blocks. Then I take the minecart again, right? And I right click. I should have put more blocks, but I scrape. Oh, actually that might be some trouble because I might have to scrape it twice. Ooh, okay. Speed of the minecart's changing, so I take it back. I actually don't think there's a... Look, I'm right clicking, it's not even getting it right now because the string is in the way. Wait, what am I doing? The reason why I'm not getting it is because it's in the first stage. I'm trying to scrape a copper that's not scrapable. Bruh. Okay, take two. I'm using the oxidized, completely oxidized one now. I'm thinking it's not gonna work. Oh. Oh. It fucking works. It only strips it by one stage. Hell yeah, bro. Ah, wait. That time it did it by 2 stages. Yeah, just looking at it, for the most part, it's stripped very evenly, except for this block here, because I was going too slow. But the second I hit that powered rail again, it started to be consistent. So maybe what I could do is take that powered rail and move it right here. But honestly, I gotta take a break from this little system right here and move on to something else. Returning back to the nether room though, moment of truth. It is overgrown, dude, but I actually like it, I gotta say. I'm gonna start putting string in certain places, but like here, for example, I'm just gonna let it go to the bottom and fall. Is it too much, guys? Especially with the crimson roots as well. Did I go overboard? Oh, I thought these guys didn't burn though. That sucks, bro. Honestly, yeah, just looking at it for a minute here, I trimmed that area down specifically, and you can see when I walk in, I want these statues to be visible. Like, I haven't trimmed this area down as much, but I would probably chop all of the vines and glowberries to like at least right about here. It's about like field of vision too. I don't want to cut off my vision from the focus points, which is the portal as well. So like these vines right here, I would cut off. I'm focusing on focal points. Some focusception going on right now for the first time, and I don't even know how long I actually need. I'm pretty sure since we went to the end, I actually need ender pearls. And no, I'm not trying to do one of those like pearl chambers or whatever you call it, where you can choose when to teleport back home. I do want to do that at some point. Clearly Mojang is not fixing it anytime soon because it's been a thing for the past, I don't know, like 3 or 4 updates. Okay, well right now for some reason there's not a ton of endermen here, but usually there's a lot, dude. And I think the solution is, since endermen are hostile towards endermites, first try, second try, no, I'm gonna get an endermite going. My second stack of pearls, bro, come on, I'm about to die here. I had to go get a regen potion, it was getting that bad. Immediately I have an enderman over there. I actually don't know the distance at which they start chasing them. Look, I got that endermite right there. Enderman right here, still not pissed off, which for the record is a bad thing, because if I want to ward off all these endermen, I'm really gonna have to hide a lot of endermites. Is he not scared at all? There we go. Who wins this battle? Oh, they disappear. I'm thinking if I hide a bunch of endermites like behind these statues here, like I put one right under here, then all of the endermen will be attracted and they'll kind of congregate here, hidden away from my view. There we go, name tag him, block it off. I'm gonna do that with all of these pillars and see how effective that actually is. Dumbass. Okay, looking at this thing, obviously it's pointless, but I think the concepts going on here are actually really interesting, because like, if you asked me a couple months ago, I wouldn't have understood how this worked at all, but now I can actually understand it quite well. Like, this is where the source starts, the signal goes towards the repeater, the observers observe the bell, the sticky piston gets activated, the sand gets lifted, it stops being charged, that updates the observer again, and it's a loop. Oh my gosh, take a breath. The observer is observing the bell, right? But here's the new thing that I learned from watching this, is that you can have observers go multiple directions. If I place anything here, update this in any way, right? Place a block, place a redstone, whatever, the observer is always noticing that change, and then it's applying that to whatever's in this direction, whether it's a redstone lamp, whether it's a redstone dust, whatever it is, it sends a signal. And so I noticed that it was observing updates, but I didn't realize that the block itself goes through an update change when it observes something else. And that allows observer blocks to observe other observer blocks. I know it's actually really difficult. I've been trying to explain it for like the past, I'm not even kidding, like 10 minutes. I'm having some difficulty doing it, but hopefully, I feel like when I use an actual example within the next few episodes, it'll be a lot more understandable. But what's going on here is, if I break this redstone dust, that observer will notice it. When that observer, I'm pointing at my monitor like you guys can see, when that observer notices that update, that block itself will update. And this observer here will notice the update, which will turn both of these lamps on, right? So, moment of truth, both lamps turn on. And what I had been doing in the past is I had to do a lot of workarounds to get observers in different directions. Like, for example, this was the most common thing I would do is, let's say I had something updating the observer, like a block. If I placed a block, I would put a redstone dust beside it, then I would have the observer above like this. But the problem with that is, when you're doing very compact projects, I'm telling you, the difference between one space here. Oh my gosh, I'm just thinking about the last, guys, remember the last episode with that, oh my gosh, yo. Yeah, there was one of those puzzles from the escape room where I was having so much trouble, dude, with the comparator and observer, and I feel like potentially this could have been the solution. So I am actually really excited to get into some future redstone projects with this new like unlocked skill in mind. But anyways, guys, I think I'm gonna have to end the episode here for today, so thank you so much for watching. And if you haven't checked out the Down the Rabbit Hole YouTube channel yet, you're missing out, dude. They just came out with like a Skyrim modded community where like this whole community is beefing. It actually sounds boring the way I'm describing it. It's one of the best YouTube videos I've seen this year, definitely one of the best YouTube videos I've seen of all time. So I'm not even affiliated with that channel. That's just a straight up recommendation. Check it out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Catch you later.